Well, it's noontime. Time for another live streaming event with Rick Miracle, me. How's the audio and how's the video? I am now live. Noontime. Any commenters? How am I coming through? Zero people watching according to the counter on the YouTube live streaming software. One person's watching. Getting ready for a live event. How's the audio? How's the video? This will be June 11th, the 11th consecutive day that I'll have done a live streaming event at the same time. I was wondering how far I was going to be able to make it. Tomorrow I have a business appointment all day, so it's likely I will not be able to do the show, but I may try to check on the software. Thank you, Dave. And see if I can schedule to have a previous video published at that time in a live streaming format. I used to make up these series called Media and Press Releases. My collection of current events, press releases, and other current research. Every year, 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I got boxes and boxes. I'll show one. Here's one box. So what's in this box? Alright, this is just looking for a date on something here. So this is a collection of material from 2017. So as I do my research, I tag everything, as you can see. And I'll just pull out a couple here so we can see a little snapshot of what I've collected. And I've done this every year since I think 2008 or 9. The first document in one pile here says, say no to the New World Order. It's a book I believe I purchased this book. And it was written by Gary Allen. Just taking a short look at some of the research I've done. The next document, Currency Reset, Critical Arrest Happening Now. So I remember back then when a lot of people in the banking industry were being arrested. 2016 on this document. And then one about the Syrian star system. Just showing I've been doing this research for years, and I have a box this large and larger. I suppose if you stacked up these boxes, I'd have a 10-foot pile of material. Record smashing August means long awaiting jump in global warming here. So this is 2016. So I haven't accumulated A lot of knowledge in my head. Alright, let's see what else I got here. California lawmakers under fire over profanity-laced voicemail to pastor. Israel tells Palestinians, our textbooks or no funding. Palestinian schools in East Jerusalem are asked to adopt the Israeli curriculum if they want extra resources. That would be 2016 September. So there's plenty of documents in my collection. Climate action. Success in Vienna clears path for the HFC amendment to Montreal Protocol in October. Driving Europe's transition to a low-carbon economy. Climate action. EU climate action. Key EU, European Union, targets for 2020. Long-term goal, action towards climate targets. So I don't know what they're doing in your neighborhood, but outside my house here today, they're spraying us like we're bugs, dumping tons of chemicals this morning. I took a video, of course. So you got all this stuff about the European Union reducing emissions from transport, all these charts. Fluorinated greenhouse gases. European Commission on Climate. So I got all kinds of topics here. The American Policy Center. Obama is trying to silence us. The Obama government is using every legal threat and intimidation tactics to shut us up. Cities are being sued as HUD is targeting your neighborhood to control your private property and destroy its value. Obama just illegally signed the UN's climate change treaty and the Senate says nothing. This is from the American Policy Center. So there's so much more here. Here's some information about HARP. Project Cloverleaf. Geoengineering, HARP, and chemtrails. Again, just some material over the years in my collection. Apparently some craziness going on during the Inquisition in my research. I look into everything. Noahide laws. The Jews' secret way to murder Christians by beheading. That's weird. I was going to talk about that today. Back in 2016. Here's another one. The insidious truth about Noahide laws. The American Holocaust and the coming New World Order. The insider truth about the Noahide laws. Now the government can legally kill Christians. Where your income tax money really goes. Grand design. Good morning from Oregon, he says. like to pay attention to my commenters. Where your income tax money really goes. Human resources, general government, current military, past military. It's like a lot of money. If they weren't having all this money go towards wars, we would be doing quite well. Here's some information. Enochian World by Alice Crowley. Aleister Crowley changed the spelling of his name to equal 666, the mark of the beast. I made a video, series number 23, on his book, The Book of the Law. It's quite horrible. Alright, this is really crazy here. Cambridge Conference. Pedophilia is natural and normal for human males. July 2014. Remember when gay rights was going crazy in the 1990s? Conservatives warned that after homosexualism was normalized, it would only be a matter of time before pedophilia was normalized. Remember when they said that would never happen? Pedophilia interest is natural and normal for human males, according to this, said the presentation. At least a sizable minority of normal males would like to have sex with children. Normal males are aroused by children. How disgusting is that? Jews News. Jews News. University academic says pedophilia is natural and normal for males to be aroused by children. In the Jews News, it's not news unless it's Jew news. You can't make this stuff up. See the top? University academic says pedophilia is natural. Jews News. It's not news unless it's Jews News. And you see the sun rays behind there? University academics. Wonder what university this is. University of Cambridge. I guess this is the university. The conference took place last year to discuss the classification of sexuality in a diagnostic and statistical manual for mental disorders, the standard international psychiatric manual used by the legal system, the American Psychiatric Association, which produced it, had been locked in battle over whether pedophilia should be included as a disorder. The proposal arose because children are going through puberty at a younger age, and the current definition of pedophilia, attraction to prepubescent, I have trouble with some words, children, was missing ever more young people. The revelation came after an investigation by the Telegraph journalist Andrew Gilligan, who says that the conference entitled Classifying Sex, Debating DSM-5 featured a number of speakers who spoke in favor of sex with children, which in essence is supporting pedophilia. And I've been saying this all along. The that the population accepts all these New Age teachings and philosophies, do as thou wilt, there's no stopping it. Abbreviated history of the Scottish Rite. The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, which is a Master Mason, further exposure to the principles of Freemasonry. So I've been doing all this research over the years. Here we go. March 26, 2016. Donald Trump on Richard Haas, head of the Council of Foreign Relations. I wonder what he has to say here. I don't remember all this stuff. Donald Trump, in his own words, says that Richard Haas is excellent. The funny thing is Obama has chosen President of the Council of Foreign Relations, Richard Haas, to become president to work on his foreign policy team. From Obama to the Clinton, the ties with the Council of Foreign Relations run deep, and Trump is going to lay in bed with the same masters. U.S. President-elect Obama has chosen President of the Council of Foreign Relations, along with senior CFM member Richard Holbrooke, Dennis Ross, as special foreign envoys, directly reporting to Obama. It says here these men and women are all puppets, whether it be Barack Obama, Ted Cruz, Hillary Clinton. They are in positions to carrying out the globalist agenda. Trump finally given Scottish coat of arms. So much research I've been doing over the years. Donald Trump dismisses global warming threat, weather changes. What do we got here? Andrew DeGray interview, Ending Aging. Today we are lucky to introduce you to an intriguing figure such as Ambre DeGray, a British researcher who claims to have drawn a roadmap to defeat biological aging. He provocatively proposes that the first human beings who will live to 1,000 years old have already been born. I guess you can see over the years, I just kept going and going. Every year I was doing this. America's gun culture, another document here. Is the world heading towards a post-human future? Artificial intelligence is progressing at a frightening pace, leading humanity towards its ultimate destruction. Wow. Here's the word. Salon promotes pedophilia. Salon is a popular magazine, or website, salon.com, S-A-L-O-N. And apparently it's promoting pedophilia. A lot of places are reporting it before it's news. Victory Girls blog, Godlike Production, WND.com. So where do you think it's going to stop? Just thought I'd do something different today. Mom defends son who wears tutus and nail polish. Show him acceptance. One mom's defense of her 6-year-old son who dresses in pink tutus and paints his nails has received a strong response in social media. It made me nervous having this attention on us, but otherwise it made me happy. Devin Berryann of Pottstown, Pennsylvania told ABC News, if he grows up to deciding to be gay, a transgender, or whatever, it makes me happy to know he'll have so much support. You can't make this stuff up. You can look it up. Article about preschool sex education in Germany, legalized child abuse in Germany, sex and children. German government to dads, don't forget to rub your Germany and EU to legalize pedophilia? On the bottom there? What are you going to do? When the world goes crazy, what are you going to do? Understanding separation via Eisenstein or Blavatsky, Helena Blavatsky. All right, here we have Cleveland Pride was just canceled, and it hurts. I have never felt like I needed a pride parade. I'm one of those gents who has led a lifetime of extreme... So I guess he's led a lifetime of extreme privacy in his gay life. Rape survivor slams Hillary. Me Texas. LGBT activist government effectively establishes a religion. Hillary Clinton has a huge lead over Donald Trump on this particular poll prior to the election. And I was paying attention to Yellowstone and the earthquake activity back then. You can go on the internet and see these charts and watch the world shake. City of Cleveland Safety Preparedness Update, Republican National Convention of 2016. So the RNC Cleveland 216. Protecting guests, maintaining safely. So they were worried about the Republican National Convention. Law Enforcement Coordination Overview Division of Police. The Division of Police, in collaboration with the LE partners, has developed plans to prevent and mitigate disruption by way of a balanced and proportional response continuum, while at the same time protecting the constitutional rights of individuals. So they were serious about this law enforcement coordination. They even had plans for the arrest and detention processing plans. I got all these pages here. All right, here we go. Club Blue. Apparently, I guess they had a... We are deeply sorrow for all involved. We tried to give the teens what we thought was a safe place to have a good time. There was armed security as well as full security inside and out. As the club was closing, parents were picking their children up. That's when all this took place. There was nothing more we could have done. As you see, it was not the kind of party that did this despicable act. So some kind of a disastrous event at Club Blue. I forget what happened. Well, I don't know. Here's a little bit of a suspicion. Club Blue Facebook. I guess there could be some disruption there. And the owners said not to worry. Nothing should have happened. Just saying. Out of all these boxes of material, I believe I could write a couple books. 2 dead and up to 16 injured at teen nightclub in Fort Myers, Florida. Okay, so this is what happened. 2 people were killed and as many as 16 others were injured after a person opened fire during an event geared towards teenagers at Club Blue. Did you see those pictures? This was geared towards teenagers? Wow. Oh, wow. Way back then I was reporting on the National UFO Reporting Center on January 2nd, 2016. There were multiple flying objects sighted in the horizon. Meandering lights over Mooresville, North Carolina. Strange light near Rim Road and Cliffdale, Fayetteville, North Carolina. I was walking my dog. I noticed a propeller plane I thought was coming in for a landing. It had white lights and a red flashing whatever light over Angeal, North Carolina. Just saw something really weird. 6 to 8 orange light traveling east to west. They seem to be less than 1,000 feet in altitude. So a lot of reporting back then. In 2016, I was continuing to pay attention back then. Oh, here's something interesting. When back then I was asking myself, how fast does the Earth travel around the sun? You know, it's got to be a big circle. So what is the diameter? And divide that by 365. And then by 24 hours in a day, and you get the miles per hour. And what I came up with, here's the formula. D equals the square root of 2 radius h plus h squared. So anyways, the answer startled me. Use Pythagorean theorem here. I do have an electronic engineering technician degree and worked at a major aerospace company for 10 years. So I like playing with math. But anyways, the answer, you can go look it up on the internet, is 66,600 and some odd miles. The bottom line, it's 666. I thought there was something suspicious about that. Out of all the numbers that could have come up. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the threat of global warming. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the threat of global warming. The population bomb was another one. I've talked about these topics. The world in peril. We are unanimously convinced that rapid, radical redressment of the present unbalanced and dangerously deteriorating world situation is the primary task facing mankind. Concentrated international measures and joint long-term planning will be necessary on a scale and scope without precedent. This supreme effort is founded on the basic change of values and goals at individual and national and world levels. Around the same time, influential anthropologist and president of the American Medical Association for the Advancement of Sciences, Margaret Mead gathered together like-minded anti-pollution hoaxsters at her 1975 North Carolina conference. The atmosphere, endangered and endangering, Mead's star recruits were the climate scare artist Stephen Schneider, population freak George Woodwell, former AAAS head John Holdren, currently President Barack Obama's science and technology czar, all three of them disciples of the Malthusian catastrophist Paul Ehrlich, author of Population Bomb. This stuff didn't start today or yesterday. It's been going on a while. The International Panel on Climate Change So I am convinced all of these things are propaganda programs designed to change our world, to bring about a new world order, i.e. a new age religion, and it's all called globalism, and the target is, of course, Christianity, as well as the Islamic religion for the Arab world, and probably peoples of the other world, even the people in China, are being microchipped and monitored. Their audio, even in their homes, the video, the facial recognition, their credit card spending, all of these things are determining whether these people in China, according to Max Egan, whether they're good citizens or not. You can get demerits, you can be barred from getting on a train, a plane, anywhere, federal building. And apparently this is coming to the USA and probably Europe and the world as I speak. Overpopulation, the first global revolution, the fallacy behind the fallacy of global warming. So somebody wants to bring about a global revolution. And it's these people that basically descended from the Bolsheviks, Jewish people who invaded Russia, i.e. in bed with the Zionist, communist, secret mystery school religion. It's all connected. UN still pushing discredited overpopulation crisis. So when I talk about issues, when I do book reviews and other videos I make on chemtrailing and HARP transmitters and cell phone towers and other issues that just seem to me to be quite sinister to we the people of the world, I've been doing this research every day, every week, every month, every year since 2005. In 2008 or whatever, I started these printing out all these documents because I figured out that eventually this information would not be available. And Dave talks about the real ID, October 1, 2020. And by the way, Dave, I did get I changed my address when I moved, and I sent in my new address and some money to the state of North Carolina. I believe I did it online. And I got the new license in the mail and a letter stating that it was not a federally accepted ID. And when I sent it in and checked on the boxes online, I did not opt in for a federally accepted ID. So apparently it was in that letter that things were going to change in the near future. It would be mandatory for me and probably everybody, and it's been in the news. So yeah, change is coming to the USA, probably the world. Why is Palestine missing from Google's Middle East map? So Google has taken it upon himself to say, Palestine's no more. Is that what happened? All right. Czechoslovakian president. Citizens should arm themselves. Reflecting a startling change of heart, Czech Republican President Miloš Zeman shown, once opposed to private civilian ownership of firearms for self-defense, told local Czech newspaper Blisk, "Earlier I spoke often about limiting the ability of citizens to have large quantities of weapons. But after the terrorism attacks in France, I have changed the idea." He's now pushing the Czech parliament to adopt a new law that would allow citizens to purchase, keep, and use firearms if necessary. You think? They do manage to disarm we the people in the USA, and they're working on it. We will have no recourse as things clamp down on us like a big boot stepping on our head. Hacked messages of Black Lives Matter leader reveal Obama's administration plan for summer of chaos and military law. So, when you talk about mind control, and you see the media, the TV programming, the nightly news, billboards, school system, medical system, pay attention to what the president's doing, the things in the country, the bombing of Afghanistan, the bombing of Syria. It is a mind control. People do absorb all that information and formulate their reactive thinking. ICE agent commits suicide. New York ICE agent suicide note. A habitual purveyor of misinformation leveraged a tragic suicide. What else have I got here? U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, after a lengthy suicide note exposing terrifying plans of the government, has for American citizens, a U.S. custom agent walked onto a pier in New York City and blew his brains out. This is May 12, 2016. I'll read that again. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, updated twice, May 10th and 12th, after writing a lengthy suicide note exposing the terrifying plans the government has for American citizens. A U.S. Customs agent walked out onto a pier in New York City and blew his brains out. Sources inside the New York City Police Department have revealed to Superstation 95 the contents of a suicide note found on the body, and they are utterly frightening. The note, which says it was written over the course of a full week in advance, outlines why the officer chose to shoot himself. He premeditatively killed himself, but he took a whole week to write this note. And he was a U.S. Customs agent. Here's part of the note. The America I grew up in, cherished, has been murdered by its own federal government. Our Constitution has become meaningless, and our laws politicized so badly, they are no longer enforced. Except for political purposes. Our elected officials are, to a person, utterly corrupt and completely devoid of any love or respect for the country which pays them. To them, everything is about getting and keeping power and making illicit money from backroom deals. There's more in this note. mentions FEMA camps for Americans. If the American people knew what the government is planning, they would rise up and overthrow it. If I or anyone else in the federal government revealed what is coming, we will be killed anyway, so now I will reveal what I know. So he wrote this note. Apparently it was a lengthy note with all this information, pages here actually. And he said if he didn't kill himself, they would have killed him. We in federal law enforcement have been drilling for several years to control riots and uprisings from a coming financial collapse and widespread bank failures. The drills involve life-size images of American, even women and children, and we are told to shoot for practice and to get used to it. We have been told that the economy is terminally ill and will fail in 2016. Luckily it didn't. We're also told the banks are all insolvent and the FDIC doesn't have nearly enough funds to bail out depositors. We are told that these events are unavoidable and imperative that the government survive when the people rise up over this. When the collapse takes place, detention camps created under the FEMA Rex 84 program in the 1980s to house illegal aliens whom we were going to deport. And President Donald Trump is deporting them now. Instead will be used to imprison American citizens who the government feels constitute a threat. American citizens will be rounded up without warrants and imprisoned without trial for God knows how long. These camps have been equipped to carry out Hitler-scale killings, an actual purge of American citizens by the very government which they themselves created and pay for. I cannot be a party to this. And there's more pages to that document if you should want to. And one commenter says, I heard the reset is for October. Just like 9/11 or 2008 stock market collapse, we won't see it coming. Hopefully people are prepared. They have a little stockage of food and have thought out where they're going to get water. And of course they'll probably turn off the public water system if they do something like this. Including this, that means the sewer system won't work if you can't get any water in the toilet. So, you could have a rain barrel on your water drains off your roof, which I do. And the last time we lost electricity, I just went out and got a gallon of water from the water barrel and put it in the top of tank of the toilet so that we had continued toilet use. Simple things. Or some gallon jugs of spring water stored away. Vice President Joe Biden officiated his first wedding for a same-sex couple. Alright, testing the spirits. Per my telephone conversation with you the other day, you said you had a friend who was hearing voices. You said it got so bad at one time that she had herself checked into a mental hospital. You also mentioned that she apparently believes in spirit guides. Kind of a common denominator item I've been talking about. If she is using the word spirit guides, the voices that she is hearing are demonic spirits. Spirit guides is a New Age term and comes right out of the occult. There are some people who literally make contact with what they feel are good spirits. These good spirits are really demonic spirits masquerading as angels of light. And I have mentioned it numerous times in my videos and in my book reviews, all these people who are into channeling some invisible entities. Lee Carroll will get on stage and go, "Hello, this is Cryon." Or Jane Roberts will sit in a chair and light up a cigarette, take a drink of beer, and go into a trance and say, "This is Seth here with some information for you humans." You can go watch Jane Roberts' videos. I don't know how good of an imitation that was. Or Esther Hicks. Go watch her videos. Channeling Abraham. So I've been working on all these different topics over the years. Benjamin Netanyahu in 2014, the Prime Minister for Israel, he says, terror plague will come to France. Benjamin Netanyahu told the French reporter in 2014 that the terror plague will come to France if the country's leaders do not sufficiently support Israel's ongoing war against an occupation of the Palestinians. It's not Israel's battle, it's your battle. It's a battle of France, says Netanyahu, adding that if Israel and not the Palestinians was faulted for the Middle East impasse, then this terror plague will come to you. It's just a question of time, he continued. It's already on the move. It's on its way to you. If it's seen as successful, if they can target democratic societies, get them blamed, get them to break their solidarity, and what they know is the moral case that Israel is making, then it will encourage them to move from one step at a time. It's right now across your waters. It's already in North Africa. The comments were made in the middle of an Israeli's Operation Protective Edge, the latest of Tel Aviv's brutal, murderous, unprovoked military assaults on the Gaza Strip. The campaign extinguished the lives of 2,200 Palestinians, mostly civilians, including 550 children, and damaged and destroyed 150,000 Palestinian homes. Thousands more were severely injured, and 100,000 were internally displaced. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. If France doesn't join you in your battle to kill all the Palestinians, terror is going to come to them. That's what he said, according to that article. ISIS wants a global civil war. The most dangerous anti-American force is not ISIS, it is Iran. I keep talking about this. They want to demonize Iran. They demonized Iraq. They are attacking and demonizing Syria. They demonized Afghanistan. They demonized Ukraine. They've been demonizing the USA. My question is, what is it going to take for we the people to wake up? And I don't mean by some riot in the street activity, legal activity, organization with each other. Get rid of these two ridiculous political parties, the Democrats and Republicans, which are controlled by the same puppet masters. We need an American People's Party. And right out of the gate, say that it is a Christian party with Christian morals and ethics. No stealing and no killing. Venezuela on the brink of total collapse. This really annoyed me learning about this because Venezuela, the country on the northeast side of South America, has more oil and more gold reserves than any country in the world. Why would the people be starving? How can that happen? It doesn't make sense. Michael Collins, Piper, excerpt from the New Babylon. Rabbi Michael Higger, PhD, published a book called The Jewish Utopia. I made videos on this book, series number 67 in my Freemasonry and Satanism book review. 3 2-hour videos. And the published Jewish Utopia, the sum total of prophecies, teachings, and plans and interpretations of the foremost Jewish rabbis and tribal leaders over a period of 2,500 years. The book talks of the righteous and non-righteous. So who do you think the righteous are? And who do you think the non-righteous are? Obviously the righteous are the Israelis, and the non-righteous are the rest of us. And like I said, I made 3 2-hour videos on Robert Williams' book, The Ultimate World Order, where he talks about a book he discovered, The Jewish Utopia. It is clear throughout Higger's writings that the righteous shall be the Jews, and the servants of the Jews and the wicked will be those who are perceived by the Jews to be standing in opposition to their interest. Okay, so I went over this stack, and you saw I have a full box of some news and research I made in 2016 or 17. And the reason I spent the first 50 minutes doing that is because I'm going to go look at the Yahoo homepage and a list of the articles as they popped up. See, this is page 1 of 13. And show that somebody is playing games with our minds. Asylum seeker, I thank God I am back with my son. An estimated 34 children under 5 were reunited with their parents. So apparently Donald Trump issued orders that all illegal immigrants need to be exported, deported immediately. And some judge recently said that all these homeless children, by law, he demanded that they be reunited with their parents immediately. So that starts out the news on your yahoo.com homepage. Germany wants Donald Trump to pull U.S. troops out of Germany. George Clooney's scary motorbike accident caught on surveillance video. So George Clooney seems to be an outspoken person on some of these issues, and somehow somebody pulls right in front of him and tries to topple him. Time for reckoning over China's WTO membership. So apparently the U.S. tariff plan is going to take some extreme measures with China. That's not going to help the world situation, to make agitation and enemies out of Russia and China, etc., including Germany. Apparently, President Donald Trump arrived there today and immediately made some announcements that were ticking off the Germans. Teens were laughing hysterically as they terrorized a 1-year-old with a taser, a cop says. And yesterday I was talking about menorahs, the 7-candlestick religious artifact that's taking over the Christian symbolism. Well, I can tell you, they are paying attention to what we do and what I do. And I have an advertisement for menorahs. The artificial intelligence system is online and working. They know what we're doing. Senate rebukes wide. So I was looking at the this yahoo.com when I went to check my email and saw this list of press releases and articles. Yahoo.com, the front page. And I said, I need to print this out. And I printed out 16, 17 pages. And I'm just going to go through some of these obviously insightful topics, headlines. So how does this affect the way people in the world are thinking and the actions they're taking? Donald Trump's startling global agenda, talking white supremacy worldwide. Systematic effect to make the United States less powerful and less respected. Trump kicks off NATO's summit with a breakfast rant. Germany is a captive of Russia. Wife of perfect husband cheats without remorse. So you're checking your email, you see the press releases, the news, and you start looking and reading this stuff. NFL star LaSine McCoy accused of leaving his ex-girlfriend bloody and beaten in viral Instagram photo. "15 rich and famous LGBT people around the world. Homosexuality Center leaves it to South Carolina SC's wisdom to decide." So more on India will defer to the top court verdict of legalizing gay sex. Criminal, Trump picked Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court justice because he's a white man for the job. NATO allies offer trainers, seek to set disputes inside. A huge row breaks out between Trump and President of Germany, Merkel. After calling 911 on a black family, subway worker placed on leave. China-Germany strike trade deal without the USA. China's June exports seem solid as trade war with U.S. heats up. Routers. The UN just got a look at the North Korea's horrible humanitarian situation. Fox and Friends trashes Trump's Supreme Court pick. The swamp wanted Judge Kavanaugh. Demonstrators force Fox crew from Supreme Court broadcast. Mysterious UFO crashes near the FIFA World Cup site. Here we go with the UFO alien information in the news. U.S. stocks futures drop after U.S. threatens China tariffs. When Trump realizes Kim isn't giving up North Korea, his nukes, it won't be pretty, according to this press release. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh has a $1 million house and very little in savings. Here's what we know about his money. Former astronaut says humans could have made it to Mars decades ago, but most would probably die. California woman beats a 91-year-old Mexican man with a brick and tells him to go back to your country. A California woman is beating a 91-year-old Mexican man with a brick and telling him you have to go back to your country. I'm looking at my comments here. They imitate Baphomet, the devil, is why men dressed as women. Alright. So a California woman beats a 91-year-old man with a brick, telling him to go back to his country. Is this the kind of people we really want to be? You've listened to me for an hour going over some of the press releases and other articles I've researched back in 2016, and I've been doing this for every year. It just gives us a not a very pretty picture of our world. Michael Rappaport catches heat for effing awful joke about the cave rescue efforts. Asian markets tumbles as U.S. seeks tariffs on $200 billion in Chinese goods. Donald Trump's attack on Germany has poked a hornet's nest lurking beneath the EU's facade of unity. Engineers stashed Navy drone trade secrets in his personal Dropbox. Border Protection says New York City Mayor de Blasio crossed border illegally. Rick Santorum turns on Trump. He's just bowed to the Washington elite. Foreign workers are leaving Saudi Arabia by the thousand. Foreign workers are leaving Saudi Arabia by the thousands. Trump's terror bring us World War III. Just saying. New U.S. CIS policy will carry harsh consequence for applicants. The leadership of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which seems determined to refute the notion that people... This is just when you go to yahoo.com, these were the press releases in today's news. Just go to the front page. Just goes on for 17, 18 pages here. Italy refuses to allow Italian ship to dock because it's carrying migrants. Wow, Meghan Markle, the one who married the royal young man, just wore 3 stunning dresses in one day. Which one is your favorite? Just saying. That's in the news. 3 dresses in one day. Trump suggests China might be interfering with the U.S.-North Korea talks. You think? How China could hurt U.S. once it ran out of imports to tax. Whites call the cops on us for breathing, for existing, and for being black. I don't really think so. But I suppose some people would like to have everybody believing that. The divide and conquer tactic is alive and well. Whether it is between black and whites and foreigners and nationalists or straights and gays or men and women or Republicans or Democrats, etc., etc., and even having the issue of we the people of planet Earth against the aliens from the Galactic Federation. Shouldn't be biased or prejudiced against them either. Or witches and demons. What's wrong with them? Oregon ranchers who sparked a standoff to return home after Trump pardon. Migrants headed for El Paso stop at Bridgers before entry point. North Korea implies Kim Jong-un was at the potato farm during Mike Pompeo visit. U.S. could send aircraft carrier to Taiwan straight, analyst says. That's nice. Let's send a carrier like that off the coast of China. Democratic socialist, i.e. communist, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez scores victory in New York election she didn't run in. gas pump ripped out by a van sprays Lamborghini, which burst into flames. So somebody tried to drive off with the car still pumping gas. So there was my live streaming event today. Looking at some of the documents I collect over the years. I have boxes and boxes, and they probably stack up 10 feet if I take all those boxes and stack them on top of each other. And I still do it for 2018, 2017. And Dave says, order out of chaos. Soon there will be millions of Muslims amassing to exterminate evil Europeans. So there is a lot going on in this world we live in. And I can see why some people might be a little shaken up, emotionally charged up. They want it that way. We shouldn't let them do that. People need to get together in neighborhoods and cities and towns and come up with something like an American's People's Party. Work together, and defeat these evil forces bent on a global world order. And apparently Israel seems like it's the head of the serpent. It and the Illuminati and the banking system and the Kabbalist communist. Just saying, it is what it is. They control the movies, the TV programming, the newspapers, the banking system, the education system, the militaries, the political leaders. And look what we're getting. Rick Miracle reporting.